If you have PCOS and your PCOS is causing you to have facial hair and you're trying to figure out what you can do to help improve the situation, this video is for you. So, in about 60+% of people who have PCOS, the root cause of the issue is going to be insulin resistance. Now, insulin resistance basically means that you have high amounts of insulin in your blood, and because of that, some of the receptors that respond to insulin are not functioning properly. So, in the case of PCOS, a lot of times it tends to be an issue where your insulin levels are high in your blood. And that happens as a result of high amounts of carbohydrate intake over a long period of time. And so the first thing that you're going to try to do is that you're going to do everything possible to be as insulin sensitive as possible, or to bring the insulin levels down in your bloodstream. And I'm going to say the first thing that you should do is you need to make sure that you decrease how many times you're eating or putting food or nutrition in your mouth. So usually I recommend when you're starting out to stick to eating 3 meals a day. No snacks in between, no sugary drinks in between. Just stick to 3 good meals a day. And when you're eating those meals, you want to make sure that they are going to be high in protein. Okay, it takes a longer time for your body to metabolize and break down protein, and you want to have foods that are higher in protein and fats. Usually they come together, because it's not going to give you a high insulin spike compared to if you were eating a meal that was high in carbohydrates. So you want to focus primarily on eating proteins and fats. You still want to eat carbohydrates, but you may not necessarily need to eat them with every meal. So if you're just starting out on your journey of trying to be as healthy as possible with PCOS, I would say eat healthy carbohydrates for breakfast and lunch, and maybe skip it for dinner. The second thing I'm going to recommend when it comes to nutrition is making sure that you're eating foods that are high in fiber to support your gut microbiome. Okay, so your gut is basically like your second brain, and if there's an issue with the levels of good versus bad bacteria, let's say there's more bad bacteria than good bacteria, then that bacteria is going to send a message to your actual brain, and it's going to ask you to eat more foods that help it grow. And typically those foods are going to be simple sugars and simple carbohydrates that will then lead to a lot of dysregulation in your body. So you want to feed the good bacteria in your body, and the way to do that is to eat foods that are going to be high in fiber. So legumes are a good source of not only protein and carbs, but also fiber. You want to eat your vegetables, you want to eat your fruits. You can also prioritize eating fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi, kefir, for example. But you want to eat foods that will make your gut happy, because if your gut is happy, your brain is happy, and if your brain is happy, you're actually able to do stuff. The third thing that I want you to do is to make sure you work on keeping your cortisol levels down. And cortisol is not a bad thing, okay? It's important for us to survive, okay? Cortisol is the reason why we wake up in the morning. But what I mean by cortisol is you don't want to be in a state of chronic stress where your body is, or your sympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that is responsible for fight or flight, is constantly on high alert. When your body feels that way, it's going to produce chemicals and hormones that are going to make you store energy, okay? And food or fat is energy. So you don't want to be in a state of fat storage when the goal is to actually bring fat down, or to bring insulin down. So if the goal is to bring insulin down, that is not going to happen if cortisol levels or if your sympathetic nervous system is on high alert, okay? It's just not a priority. If it thinks that you're about to die, it's not going to then allow you to lose weight or to lose fat, right? So you have to work on bringing that sympathetic nervous system down and basically learning techniques to calm yourself down. So there's so many different things you can do. I recommend walking because it's like the easiest thing for anybody. So making sure that you go on long walks to help calm yourself down. You can do breathing techniques. You can look these up on YouTube. I love meditation as a way to basically close your eyes and shut your brain down. Well, not shut your brain down, but shut your eyes down so that your brain can kind of just focus on, calming itself down. Okay, so you want to do things that are very calming and relaxing. Mobility exercises are also going to be very helpful. Just understand that every day you need to do things that help you calm down, because the world that we live in currently is very, very intense and very, very fear driven, and it benefits the world for you to always be in a fight or flight state, but your body is not meant to function in that state. So you as an individual, you have to take it upon yourself to bring yourself down. Another thing that you can do is you can incorporate intermittent fasting into your way of eating. So you don't necessarily need to do crazy fast, but I would say that if you can eat those 3 meals that I recommended in a short window, let's say within 8 to 10 hours, then you're going to have a longer period of time when you're not eating, and so that's a good time for your insulin levels to go down. So intermittent fasting is a good option for people who have PCOS or insulin resistance. As a woman, you need to know how to do it, so definitely do some research, look for a professional who can help you with that. So the reason why you're doing all of these things is because you're doing your best to keep your insulin levels down, to keep your cortisol or your sympathetic nervous system calm, so that you can actually bring that testosterone level down, and that is going to help with the facial hair. So that's what you can do at home. Now, laser hair removal or electrolysis are going to be two options that you can use to help remove the hair. I'm biased because I do laser hair removal in the office, so I think it's a better option, especially if you have darker hair. And so I like laser because it's going to help with not only getting the hair from thick to thin, which is more manageable, it also helps with a lot of the issues that people come in with. So they can have pseudofolliculitis, which leads to or ingrown hairs, which can lead to hyperpigmentation and scarring. And I find that laser hair removal is better for managing both the hair and also managing the skin. Now, laser is not going to remove all of the hair. It will remove about 80% of the hair. But if you combine the nutritional and lifestyle changes that I recommended, plus laser hair removal, you should have really good results and you should get your skin back. So I hope that this is helpful for you. If you have more questions, leave them below.